All right, Cesar just left. I'm about to go.
It's interesting content.
Interesting content. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
All right. It says we're offline on Mixer. YouTube's going live. YouTube is live.
Is live now.
Mm-hmm. Twitch is not.
Oh shit, I gotta mute that.
Twitch is not live yet. You got it running on your.
No, it is.
Do what?
It is. I gotta mute it. I muted it.
You got it running on your phone or anything? It's not up on Twitch yet.
No, I got it running on the computer on Firefox in the background.
All right, we're on Twitch, and I've got it running under my account. 3 viewers. That's it. That's all we need. And I got the chat up on my screen. We wait for old Star to come back. Brant, check out one of my Goodwill finds from this past week. Nope, already filed it. I found Mac and X, the Atlas Dreamcast game.
Ah.
Also found a Nuon player. Do you know what a Nuon player is? So
Nuon player.
So
that sounds familiar.
And Toshiba tried to come out with this like multi-interactive. It was basically the same like Philips CDI era CD-ROM thing. They tried to come out with a multi-DVD-ROM. You know, it played games, it did encyclopedias, it did all that same shit. And it was Samsung, Toshiba. Somebody else made one, but it was obviously a huge flop. But I've never even seen one before. So I found that, no controller, no nothing. And it takes a proprietary controller. It's not like a 9-pin or USB or something. But I picked it up. I figure I'll find that later on. There's only like 6 games. There's a Tempest game for it. There's a Tetris game for it. And there's like some educational software.
Myst.
There's no Myst. Myst isn't one of the 5.
So run Doom.
There's no Doom. I bet someone's ported Doom because
I'm about to say you better look for those
Homebrew launched in 2001, so I was like, damn, this thing wasn't even out of the gate before somebody jumped on Homebrew.
Alright, my bad. UPS came to the door. I don't see it.
Alright, we got 2 views. We need that third one in there. Hair looks like shit.
No, I don't know what to tell you. I'm in there, so.
Brent, you're watching?
You can look at the comments. I put a whole bunch of stuff in the chat.
I'm on our thing right now.
It only says 3, or it says 2 for some reason. Get that.
Yeah, I had to go. UPS came in, deliver my latest copy here.
What is that? Can I tell, sir? One Piece. Demon Slayer.
Close.
It's literally blurring out everything but the one person.
I got 10 more volumes and I'm done with the series.
We had a comment. Thank you, M.L. Bergman, for saying I like the fuzzy background. So there's one of the other 2. Who are we missing? Maybe it counts IP addresses. I guess I'll keep the chat window up.
I know. It's all about that IP address.
Address those IPs.
Update the BIOS.
I had a BCD boot kick my ass today on a machine that Brant touched before I did, so I can't claim any wrongdoings. Coworker of mine and Brant.
Pause.
You need to liven up your background. All right, Brant's
Who,
on
me?
here. No, that's what I was told. I know it was directed at me.
Oh.
My next wife will buy me a nicer background. How about them apples? Both of y'all. she said both of y'all. Safety precautions. Cesar, what do you have back there as a damn safety precaution? The bike? You'll never know.
You'll never know.
I can't disclose that.
He's got.
Could be a
All right,
sex
we
machine.
got 3. That's all we needed.
It's that baby giraffe
Weird
in the
sex
back.
machine. It does look like a giraffe.
Yeah, that or a weird velociraptor is gonna kill me later.
Clever girl.
Oh, my copy of Jaws came in. Did yours come in?
It hasn't even shipped. I haven't even gotten a shipping confirmation.
Oh shit.
Here's to swimming with 4K women. Did you like my response?
It's pretty good. I think I didn't respond back because I think I was on the bike
That's fair.
when you responded.
Yes, I always appreciate the heads up. All right, let's get this. Let's get a little bit of lead in and we'll get going. 121, I got the number right. Everybody's got news up.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that you forced Brent to do every Animal Crossing update. So
He gets excited by it.
I don't mind it.
We have to
It's
embrace whatever someone is excited by. That's all that matters.
put on there, Brent, do your fucking job. Upcoming Animal Crossing changes.
Animal Crossing news you have to cover. Now going to our live Animal Crossing correspondent, Brand McKee.
Live and in person.
Live on the scene of Animal Crossing.
I'll never get out of debt. Back
That's
to you,
all of
Richard.
us.
Yep.
Who am I reaching out to? Yeah, if you know somebody that does anything on Twitch, let them know now. Please watch for a little while. It'll help us tremendously. We got our 3. I'm happy with that. It's a good start. It's a good start. Oh, it says 0.
Remember, we are in the darkest timeline.
This is the darkest of all the timelines. All right, let me hit go and we'll get a lead in and then we'll hit the ground running. Everybody properly hydrated? Me.
Oh, yeah.
What is the thing we used to do? Me. What's the Ron Burgundy warm-up? No, not that. Not the screaming. He says something. He goes through some kind of
Oh, that was a Russell thing because that's like the flat foot and spiders and there's like a whole bunch of different stuff.
We haven't done that in so long.
I just remember
the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Yeah. That,
All right, Brant, give it a rundown. Don't be too crunchy.
Then we all should be smoking cigarettes like Paul Rudd, putting it out before it starts.
What is it? Peter Piper picked a pickled peppers.
There we go. Me.
Seashells by
That's
the
another
seashore.
one. Is it just any tongue twister? Is that like the cheat?
Something like that.
Ooh.
Brant just broke his spine. It's the best time to start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 121st episode of the NOFODcast. This is our 121st iteration of this now infamous Southeast premier video game podcast, live streaming audio and video pleasure now, just for you. You don't think so? Brant says go with it.
I question. Yeah.
SSR puts out his cigarette. Tonight, Microsoft announces changes to their storefront, which is bigger news than you would think it is. Spidey swings first onto PlayStation in Avengers. Sony outlines PS5 accessory compatibility and announces a state of play that will be out probably by the time you listen to this. Zelda Recipe enters official Ganon canon. It just comes to me, people. I got nothing else. It just comes to me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a gift. It is. It's a curse also. Yeah. Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play in 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X. Got a little bit to talk about that. Splinter Cell's back.
A bunch of ellipses.
Is that what those are? I thought they were periods. On Netflix.
Yeah.
Cuphead launches on PS4. Brant announces upcoming Animal Crossing changes. And as of today, Pikmin 3 crash lands on strange switch-shaped planet. That's what I should have done. That's what I should have led with, Brant. Strange switch-shaped planet. That one's tough. I'm Richard Bergman, joined tonight by B. McKee. And,
Here,
and
as
CMC2. Yes, you like the title. Look at him. That was recommended by a friend of the show, Charles. He said, why are you not just calling him CMC? So I was like, well, he's got to be... Or no, he said CC2. So I'm like, he's CMC2 technically, so we'll go with that.
All right.
And I'm Richard Bergman. Thank you guys for joining us again tonight. I see we have 3 lovely viewers on Twitch. Welcome, viewers. We appreciate your viewership and your... as the 3 acknowledge their presence. Oh, holy hell. So we solved the echo from last week. I know there was a lot of... we got good feedback on the feedback, so that was good to have it.
God bless the echo.
Echo.
Hey, we fixed it, man. It was one Google search, I think, at the end of the show last week. And I was like, okay, we can try this. And then when we started off tonight, it was a matter of just kind of messing with the settings and trying to figure out where our discrepancy was. Because it still wasn't 100% in line with the guide that I found to fix it. So we had to do a little bit of troubleshooting.
Yeah. But it points you in the right direction, though. At least you figured it out instantly.
Close. That's it. Just need to be led to water, and then we can drink.
Yeah, you just threw the fucking guidebook out the window. It's like, what the fuck I had this to begin with? And you're just like,
I don't need this.
Yeah.
I'll get the basic steps and wing it from there. Nobody's on YouTube yet. I thought that was a big audience. You never know.
Are we already demonetized on there, though?
Many times over. There's been no money come in from YouTube.
Yeah, they're sending us that million viewer trophy.
It's on the wall back there. You don't see it already?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it looks good.
Our plaque we earned for multitudes of views. All right, let's jump straight into news. So this would not seem like a big deal. Microsoft changes their Xbox store. So it's rolling out to Xbox Insiders now and everyone else this fall. So the nightmare that is games with gold. Every month we read these 2 Xbox One games you get. We read these 2 Xbox 360 games you get that are backwards compatible. They are like tied to 2 separate storefronts. I have a credit card tied to that 360 thing that is like 5 years old. But it's always free, so I'm just like, sure, go ahead, buy it, sure. But we're finally going to get past this, you know, having to go into a different storefront for the exact same games. And that's the dream. A side effect of that is they're starting to like relist all these games all of a sudden. Like Shadows of the Damned came back, and there's like a list of 10 or 12 games they've brought back just because from that.
So to add to your part right there, I did jump on that Silent Hill Downpour, which was delisted in 2015.
How much did it go? Was it $19.99 when it went up for?
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
No, it's been gone for 5 years. And how much is a hard copy?
Years,
like $40.
Instantly.
40 plus.
Yeah, instantly. I paid $20 instantly. No, I didn't even think twice. I thought about it for Brutal Legend because Brutal Legend popped up in there, but I was like, it's Double Fine. I think that's going to reappear anyway. So since they own Double
we just
Fine,
got it in that Double Fine PC bundle thing. Did you get that Humble Bundle?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it was
$9 or $10 or
$10.
something
Or
like
it
that.
was $9. I was trying to give Brand a copy of Psychonauts, and he wouldn't take it. I was, are you sure? Come on. So listeners of
Damn, Brand.
I
Psychonauts
know.
is good.
He's like, I don't need it. And I said it's even Mac compatible. I did all the research. I did all the research for Brand. I was like, all right, his MacBook can play this. He's going for Days Gone. It's too soon. Don't reach for Days Gone. He's got Psychonauts.
Limited run copy of
A
Psychonauts.
limited run, and you could have had
PS4.
a wide open run at a Steam code for Mac, and you declined.
That was backwards compatible forever.
That it was. So Silent Hill Downpour, huh? Do you have any background with the game or anything?
No, I think I played it a couple years back. That was, and I probably put like maybe 5 or 10 hours, and this is probably the only one that I liked that was done by a developer, the
Right.
Western developers. I think it was done by Climax Entertainment. I can't remember if it was them or not. I've known they've done a couple of Silent
You
Hills.
and I played a little bit of Origins years ago.
Yeah, the remake of the retelling of the
Mhm.
first one. Besides our Silent Hill 2 Let's Play that is to be continued until
COVID
2021.
stopped too.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're learning. We're
It's
learning
like,
remote video recording and everything else. We might as well throw that in the mix and start doing that one too.
See, what we need to do is, I mean, it's on PS Now. I'm wondering if we can just stream it that way, and I can just play. I can play PS Now on my
Do you
PC.
want to start over?
So, yeah, it won't take long. I mean, we literally we know what to do now instead of us just spending 2 hours trying to find one fucking coin.
There were so many good moments though in our 2 Let's Plays we did. Things, mannequins jumping at us and stuff like that.
It's a lot better than unfortunately, the unpatched 360 version. So, I mean, we technically can play that one too. I have a copy of that one.
Yes, no echo. Good feedback. Very pleased.
Finally.
Very pleased.
It's like, did you see that Demon Slayer movie that got announced for 2021? Somebody did on Twitter, and that first response was great because it was supposed to come out this year, and then they pushed it back to 2021. And the guy's like, the first response on it was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna have to try to survive to 2021." That was like the only thing he was waiting for was like, "I want to watch."
That's all he
Demon
has
Slayer
to
and
live
I'm
for.
Yeah, and he's like, he saw this like, "Damn, I guess I'll have to try to make it."
I was ready to chalk it up, but now I got to be there.
Yeah. That motivation.
Do we want to go any more of this stuff? The Verge says the revamped Xbox Microsoft Store has been fully optimized for the era of Game Pass, and it now shows more details about a title at the top level as you browse without making you dig deeper. There's a focus on parental controls. Users must now be signed in to browse the Xbox Store, and content filters should ensure younger players in your house don't see anything inappropriate. This is big to me now because my 6-year-old has searched for things on YouTube that Alexa has told her how to spell. And now all of a sudden, I have to be worried about parental controls. So this is a thing. I get this now. It makes sense.
You're not the only one. My colleague at work, when he's seeing all those questionable Switch games on the Switch store, he had to enable parental on his too, because his daughter's like 5 or 6, and she was looking for games to play. And he's like, I didn't know Nintendo dabbed in these type of games. He's like, I'm gonna have to lock that down.
Where's the Nintendo I know and love?
That's basically what he was saying. He's like, I didn't have to worry about that shit. Now it's he said now they got scantily clad women in some of these pictures, and he's like,
Yeah, you really got to be careful with that with small kids.
I'm learning this. Somebody want to take this Square Enix Avenger PlayStation exclusive character story from The Verge?
Absolutely
It's a little
not.
bit of an opinion piece, but
no, none of us want to do that.
Square Enix is.
I'm just playing. I got it. Absolutely not. Yeah, it's this is from The Verge from Cam Gartenberg. Basically, they announced through the PlayStation blog, I think, from Eidos was saying that Spider-Man was coming to the Avengers game post content sometime in 2021, and that it would be exclusive to the PlayStation platform, which set off a lot of disappointment in social media. A lot of people saying that they were on the fence. They weren't going to purchase the game now. Like I said, it's like you said, it's mostly opinionated. So it's a lot of that content that's locked behind deals. But I think this one is a little bit different because I know Spider-Man's kind of weird because Spider-Man is kind of like they own the film rights of Sony, and whatever deal they worked out in the game realm, I think Sony has exclusivity on that.
Right.
It was all part of that whole how they get the third Spider-Man movie, the new one that's coming out, Homecoming, the sequel to that one. They went back and worked out a deal for it, and like I said, we don't know the ramifications for it. I think this was all part of that deal in the back end. So I think there's a lot of tie into this. So I know a lot of people were upset about it, but I think it's just all part of that deal, unfortunately.
I mean, it sucks because Spider-Man's a popular character. Like, there's nobody that's not gonna want. Did they say if it was a timed exclusive? Did you see?
No, it's a permanent.
Spider-Man will never be in the Avengers version on Xbox.
Yeah, that's I think Ito's clarified in the IGN Japan where the director came out and said, yeah, if you're going to play Spider-Man, you have to buy the PlayStation version. It will not appear in any other version. It's whatever deal they got with Sony.
It is what it is.
It's what Marvel gets for making that deal with Sony. Did you ever read the article about how they got the Spider-Man rights? So before Marvel got big and before Disney bought them and before they made their deals with Paramount, they actually offered the whole Marvel suite to Sony for $50 million, and they passed and only took Spider-Man. So,
is that in the era of like Fox grabbing X-Men and things like that?
This was before X-Men, yeah, because they originally came up there to Sony and said, "Hey, we give you the whole Marvel suite," and Sony's like, "We only take Spider-Man." That's the only one they figured would sell.
That's good lore. That's good backstory. I saw,
and they've had that. They had that deal since, I think, because you remember the first Spider-Man had James Cameron on there to direct. So ever since then, it was like 98, 99. So
I saw one of the best comments I saw was that Xbox gets Thanos exclusive, and it was Craig. It's a callback to your episode from last week when you're talking. I didn't know it was that big of a deal. I'm a Halo fanatic. How did I miss the Craig fiasco? It's so funny. And even like 343 is embracing Craig. Like they've acknowledged the existence and everything. He's got to be a trophy or a achievement or something somewhere in Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been laughing so hard at all the Craig stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell you. I was
behind on it. You said Craig. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like I knew the shape. Like when they stopped on that brute. And they looked at the face, but I didn't know the internet had named him and crowned him the anointed
Craig. Yeah, I don't know where the name Craig came out with, but somebody named Craig.
It's so good, and they've just stuck with it. It's gonna be a thing. It'll be in the boss's name.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Don't fight it. It's like the whole thing with the puddles. Spider-Man in the puddles. Puddlegate.
Puddlegate. Yeah.
No, but and now nobody's talking about the graphics of the character. Like they've made it this thing. It's Craig. Like embrace that people are talking about this. And just go with it. Go with it from there.
But yeah, outside of that, I mean, they just clarify that there will be other content coming to all of them. But they said that was the only exclusive one on all of them would be Spider-Man the PlayStation. They said there would be no exclusive characters for any of the other formats. So, like I said, it did an uproar. A lot of people were saying they were going to boycott the game, which to me doesn't make sense. I mean, if you really want to show them, you would buy the other versions and make Sony spend all that money for no reason. That's just me personally.
Stack the odds on.
They'll be like, well, yeah. They're like, we didn't. This like PlayStation. The PlayStation version was the least selling version, and then they'd be like, we paid all that money for no reason. That's really how you get back to somebody. You but not buying a copy. Like,
maybe we shouldn't do that again because this was the better selling one.
Yeah.
Just like we showed Namco with everybody buying Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube. It never happened again. We never got the Spawn Heihachi Link thing again. PlayStation 5 accessories. Brant, you want to break this one down? Did you read this article?
Yeah, I can take this. This comes from The Verge, and this article is by Tom Warner.
Good job, Tom.
So earlier this week, there was a list that came out that was produced by Sony themselves and talking about the compatibility with PS4 controllers.
Something we've all been wondering about.
And peripherals with the upcoming PS5. And I mean, if you were to look down the list, it's you see some of the stuff like steering wheels and some of the third-party controllers will work. But the biggest thing was that the PS4 DualShock is not going to be supported for PS5 games.
Specific games. Yeah.
Yes. let's see. Yeah, it just says that they will be supported with PS4 games, and it does not list any supported games or anything like that. Um, I'm sure that they'll elaborate a little bit farther down the road because we're just getting this tiny little drip of information from Sony about what's going on with PS5 right now. Um, and this does mean that everybody's going to have to buy another controller. I know Microsoft came out like right after and kind of took a little jab about how you'll still be able to use your Xbox controllers you have now on the
Right.
Series X. And I even saw something today about how with Project X Cloud, um, when that goes live in September, I believe it was, that they will be supporting PS4 DualShocks through xCloud Play, which was just another jab at Sony for this because I know a lot of people were kind of upset, but we've the majority of the generations that we've come up on, that's always been the case. It's you get a new box, you get a new controller. You get a new box, you
Right.
get a new controller. And it's kind of strange that so many people got so kind of upset by this just because I think it's mainly due to Microsoft right now. Because Microsoft's kind of trying to break this
They
generational
are.
barrier right now where like we were talking last week, a lot of these games will be playable on what we have now and be optimized for the new box for
Right.
Series X, and you can use your controllers everywhere on your PC, on your playing XCloud, whatever. And so I think that move by Microsoft is influencing the market a little bit more than most people thought it would. And this is kind of the proof here. But I mean, obviously, with how much they're pushing the DualSense controller, to me
Yep.
it makes sense. And I mean, the console is going to come with a controller. You're going to spend, gosh, what, another 50, $60 on a controller just so
Only
somebody
Hopefully.
else can. So,
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully.
77. What the 69 is a new price it seems. So I wouldn't be
Right.
surprised.
Uh,
Especially with all the tech they
yeah,
have in there,
it's
USB-C
possible.
charging.
And the battery, I think they confirmed the battery is like 3 to 4 hours longer on those
Yeah.
Which is a
dual
plus.
senses than they are on the
Which is
dual
worth
shock.
paying $10 more
But
for.
oh yeah, but there will always be third-party options. PowerA is out there, as well as all the janky kind of Chinese stuff that's out there too. But
So we've all been
uh,
gaming a long time, right?
eh,
Third-party accessories have come
oh
a
yeah,
long way. It's not like sticking your brother or
hmm
cousin with the shitty Mad Cats or whatever. They've, like you were mentioning, Brant, the Power A especially. I've got a couple of their Xbox One
oh yeah,
controllers. I prefer the wired ones. They're ready to go. I can play them on PC. Hyperkin's got some good stuff. I've got I've got this
Hori.
thing. Yeah, Hori used to be like the best of the best. I've got this thing from Hyperkin that I can play. It's got a good D-pad on it. I think the D-pad's better than the actual Xbox
Hmm.
One controller D-pad that I'll play. Like I was playing Bloodstain on it when I was doing that on PC. But going back to your point earlier, Brand, I think this is more of that. Like when this generation was first announced, and we were kind of looking at specs and what the boxes would do. We're just looking at these boxes. They're starting to go out this way, but they're sticking with their philosophies. So PlayStation has said we believe in generations. We believe in PlayStation 5 is going to bring you different experiences than you can get from 4. The controller is part of that experience. They're going that direction. Microsoft is still staying with, we don't care where you play, we don't care how you play. I think one of the greatest controllers of all time is that adaptive controller that they came out with last generation for the Xbox One. It works for Switch. It works for PlayStation, if I remember right. It works for PC. And that has brought in, none of us are special needs gamers of any kind, but that has brought in other ways for people to play who don't look and play like us. And that's a big thing. And they said that'll work. They've got, didn't they just announce a deal with a third party for an official, like, xCloud controller? Like an official smaller, was it Hyperkin? It was 8-bit.
Yeah, 8-bit dough.
Thank you, Cesar. But it just kind of sticks with that same mantra of that, and also with the PlayStation, I was reminded of when the Wii came out. It's like, okay, a bunch of games, you can use your GameCube controllers. Hey, we built 4 GameCube ports on the side of the system. It's going to play all those games already. But for games that we feel like are Wii games, you're going to want this nunchuck and this controller. And we have tailored these experiences for this type of input method. And in a lot of cases, Nintendo gave you the option of using either a classic controller or the GameCube controller in those instances. But for some of those games, they were required nunchuck and Wii Remote. I almost said Wiimote. I don't think they like Wiimote. I think they like Wii Remote. All right, Cesar, what are your thoughts on PlayStation 5 accessories?
I mean, outside of that, you got to remember Microsoft's going subscription based, so you need an open playing field with subscription base. You can't just lock them down to buying one controller. That shuts down your base when you're trying to go for that model. So, that's going to be the biggest difference.
I like the DualSense. I think it'd be crying a little bit if I didn't like what it seems like it's going to bring to games. But ever since they first started talking about the DualSense controller, I'm like, okay, this is a way I can feel. They also outlined some more of the accessories, like the 3D audio headset, the charging port, or the extra controller charger thing and stuff like that. And that's where I'm like, okay, this is next gen stuff. I'm an audio buff, and I saw it on Ghost of Tsushima. I texted Cesar about it earlier. I was like, I saw 3D audio on Ghost of Tsushima, and I couldn't turn it on. I was like, do I need that headset already? How does that work? But they did.
I think I can turn it on in my Platinum.
It'll work on the Platinum?
Yeah.
But they did confirm, too, that headset will work on PS4 as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the camera. And they'll give you a free adapter for the camera, too.
So the adapter that comes with it will work. Is that for it to work on PS4, or is that an adapter that your existing PS4 camera will work on PS5?
The latter.
Okay. So I don't have to upgrade my launch PS4 camera. I can get an adapter and be good to
go. They'll send you the adapter.
I wonder why they didn't stick with that interface. They already had a proprietary interface for it. Never know.
I think it's because we don't know how many USB ports this thing has. I think it only has. Somebody had noted that they think there's only one standard USB port, and it seemed like there's more USB-C on there. I think that's what the adapter's for.
What else? PlayStation Move motion controllers will work. The PlayStation VR aim controller will work. So, Cesar, we can vomit in Farpoint on PlayStation 5.
I can do that sometimes without playing Farpoint. So
I'm just excited. My PS3 Move controllers that I bought for Grand Slam Tennis 2. What else did I use them on? Sports Champions. I'm glad that those will still work on the next generation.
Oh man, the chair game.
Chair game.
Chair
Resident
game.
Evil. The Resident Evil kitchen demo.
No, the one where you just sent me the photo of it where you skate around in the chair.
I sent it to you. I'm lost now. Is it Job Simulator?
Yeah,
the chair game. Here, sit in this chair. Make coffee. Make coffee, human. Another exciting bit that The Verge announced, or The Verge highlights, is that Astro's Playroom, that pack-in, is going to be a showcase for the DualSense. So you'll have this new controller, and you'll have a Wii Sports-esque experience. I'm not gonna say Astro's Playroom is the next Wii Sports, but it'll give you that run through of everything that the controller can do and pull off. So that'll be a good experience. As Cesar looks up the chair game.
Yeah.
That's a PS3 game. I was just fucking around. It's a Move game, though.
Deadman's Quest.
I'm looking. Exactly. You got it. That was it.
Little Big Planet. Dos.
7. In my year of 7.
Year of 7. You're going to play Little Big Planet 7.
Kung Fu Rider.
I sent you a picture of Kung Fu Rider. When was this?
like long
Okay,
time
okay.
ago.
You made it sound like it was something recent in our thread. I'm scrolling
Nah.
back like, what the hell?
When's the last time we talked about PS3 move games? It's
It's
been
been a long
years.
time. Was it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, no. I don't know why it popped in my head, but I just remember Kung Fu Rider.
I like your time context. It's good stuff. I've never played Kung Fu Rider. I don't think I own a copy. Or did we all get a free one with the Sony leak? We might have all gotten a copy of Kung Fu Rider.
It was a budget. It was like a launch move game.
Okay, did everybody see the Zelda recipe story? This is good stuff. I enjoyed the
Yes.
shit out of reading this thread as it went. So apparently, an author. Well, somebody did God's work. They did a great article. But this is coming from John Porter at The Verge. But the actual person who broke everything down was Dana Schwartz. So the author is John Boyne, and he wrote a novel called A Traveler at the Gates of Wisdom. And it is meant to be a more serious tone. Attila the Hun is in it, if I remember correctly from the article. The problem is, as journalist Dana Schwartz notes, is that rather than listing a real-world recipe, because they're talking about clothes in the novel, the current top search results for ingredients, red dye clothes, links to a guide from Polygon on how to dye clothes in the video game The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's not an uncommon mistake for Google's algorithms to make, but in this case, the mistake seems to have made its way all the way into a published book by a respected author. So he put in his novel about a serious era of ingredients from Breath of the Wild used to make red dye. The quote is, the dyes that I used in my dressmaking were composed from various ingredients depending on the color required, but almost all required nightshade, sapphire, keys wing, the leaves of the silent princess plant, octorock eyeball, swift violet, thistle, and high-tail lizard. In addition, for the red I had used for Abrilla's dress, I employed spicy pepper, the tail of the red Lizalfos, and 4 Hylian shrooms. Which are recipes from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They said, yep, that's a passage where a character uses ingredients including Keyswing, Octorok Eyeball, Red Lizalfos Tail, and 4 Hylian shrooms to make red clothes dye in the era of 5th century ruler Attila the Hun. Oops. He did acknowledge that his Google foo was off. Author John Boyne has taken news of the mistake in good humor. Someone remind me to add Zelda to the acknowledgements page when the paperback of Traveler is published. Oh Lord, the author tweeted on Sunday. He plans to leave it as is. So you have some Zelda lore in your copy of A Traveler at the Gates of Wisdom about the adventures of Attila the Hun.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter and I got lost in that thread. He's apparently not a very good dude. So he's like a J.K. Rowling on a certain aspect of the population, and people kept pointing that out. So he's a very anti. He's just like J.K. Rowling, very anti.
Okay, well, maybe don't buy his book, but we can all laugh at him including actual legit recipes that we all cooked and messed up and got the little pixelated blocky thing in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
On to happier news, let's discuss Halo Infinite and the fact that it will be free-to-play multiplayer and 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X. Or is that it? That's it. That's the story.
That was it.
Moving on.
Yeah. Because I think somebody came out and said it was a rumor, and then 343 just like, yep, it is what it is. They just got ahead of it.
So 343, let's say over the past 5 to 8 years, they've taken some missteps, as it were. The whole thing with Craig, the whole thing with the lead up to Infinite, they're releasing music tracks. I listened to that music track that they released today like 6 times. Them coming out, somebody leaked, hey, this is going to happen. It's 120 frames per second on the new console, and it's free to play. Everybody's going to be able to play Halo. They just acknowledged it. The tweet literally says from @Halo, Halo is for everyone. We can confirm, #Halo Infinite. Multiplayer will be free to play and will support 120 frames per second on Xbox Series X. More details will be shared later. So there it was. It wasn't, people begging and pleading for them for answers or hounding developers or all the other vitriol that goes on in the internet. They were like, hey, here it is. Everybody's going to play it. And I think it's some good cues from just the way things have gone in this past generation. You've got war zones and um, Fortnite is free to play, and just the money made off of that. I'm sure they've seen those examples and they've seen that model. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, what somebody did that esports award where they were talking about the Fall Guys was already up there, and you looked at what was it, second and third place was Fortnite and
I gotta play Fall
Modern
Guys, but I
Warfare.
saw their
So
servers were getting totally destroyed, so I kind of held off for a minute.
yeah,
We need to play that one.
they're packed. Yeah, I got it downloaded and
That's
installed
when
on
we should all
PS4.
play and stream. Brant, what do you think about free to play Halo? You're down?
Yeah, makes sense, man. It just makes sense, and I think that'll be a big draw and a big money maker, because I mean, especially if somebody gets the Series X and then day one, I mean, there's going to be probably a handful of games that come out with it. Maybe they don't get Halo. Maybe they're that person that's just like, I've never really played a Halo. I want to get Forza. And then they have that option. Hey, the multiplayer's free to play, and then they jump in. They're like, this is pretty good. I like this, and then that encourages them to buy the whole game, and just gets them into the franchise. Or maybe they just stick with free to play, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of little microtransactions on that. That way they can make their money. But to me, I think it's a win-win.
It's a win-win for everybody. I know when cell phone stuff started free to play, and we were all worried, like, okay, is an Uncharted game going to be on iPhone? And then it becomes this thing, like, where is this all going? But the way it's kind of wrapped back around, and I think Cesar and I are pretty good examples of this, because we were wrapped up into PUBG not that long ago. And even though we paid for the early access version, when it came out for PS4, it was an easy no-brainer. Like, okay, we've got 200 something hours in this game. We've loved it. They want $30 for this one? Sure, they can have that. We haven't really been season pass people, but when there's been some things pop up here and there, it's like, I've gotten my money from this free to play. I don't mind giving them $5 for this, and that's, we're not the whales who are just sinking non-stop money into these things and supporting them, but
yeah.
But we throw it in there when those opportunities arise.
I mean, we bought those Apex Legend codes, so that was like $10. It's like, why not? And it came with Apex Legends on a disc. Whoever thought? I thought it was just going to be empty case with a code. It's a fucking
15 years from now, when Apex Legends 8 is already out, or season 27, we'll be able to pop those discs in and stay offline and just land that one version of Apex Legends.
Yeah. The broken one where you can always find a hidden area where nobody can find your ass.
And only 9 heroes or whatever it was that was actually on the disc. Yeah, I have no issue with that, especially with like the benefits of Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, like Fall Guys. They come out, Fall Guys is going to be great. People are already raving about it. When they come out with a physical version of that, you don't mind supporting it because you've already gotten this crazy gameplay and you believe in what they're going for, and you can't wait to see what they do next and stuff like that. So I know Cesar's always said vote with your wallet, but I think this is one of those examples. Like, we all have Game Pass. We're all going to be playing Halo Infinite at launch on our respective boxes. It may be 4 different Xboxes that we're all playing, that 4-player co-op campaign on 4 different eras of Xbox. But that multiplayer is going to bring in so many different people. Maybe people who've been away from Halo for so long. Everybody now knows Ninja as a Fortnite guru. He started off with Halo. Halo was his jam. He went to Halo tournaments and stuff with his wife and manager. So Halo is going to be awesome. Very excited. Was there any other bits on that article we wanted to touch on?
Nope. Other than I'm excited about, I got another game to try out 120 frames per second.
It will be compatible on your TV. You can give it a go. We expect your high frame rate to mean more kills, Cesar. If the high frame rates don't put you at the top of the leaderboard every round, it's a waste.
I expect the high frame rates to have me into a small room with 4 other people and nobody else in there, because nobody else will be able to play that 120 frames per second. Yeah, that's not how it works. For sure. You can't just go online and beat somebody else ass with a better.
You're gonna be at a special
room. That's how it works.
No, what's gonna happen is somebody's gonna be
Yeah,
whooping your
I mean,
ass with a 2013 Xbox One hooked up to a 720p TV.
it's gonna be like how they separate
Mouse and keyboard people.
uh
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's an unfair advantage. I'm 120 frames per
Oh yeah.
second. It's unfair advantage. So I'm gonna be in a room with 4 other people because Sony only has 2 TVs that does 120 frames per second. So, and I think Samsung's got
That are
2.
coming.
It's not many out there. So yeah, I mean the Sony ones are already out, and the Samsung ones I
You
don't
think
think are
that'll
out
be the
yet.
big thing?
So.
Like, I don't even know what CES is going to be like in January, but do you think that'll be the big thing in CES is high frame rate TVs?
Yeah, that's what everybody wants. I mean, I'll be okay doing checkerboard 4K versus native 4K with a higher frame rate. That's just my personal opinion. I just want
I'm
smoother
with you.
gameplay. I'm tired of playing games where like everybody's hiccuping along
Yep.
every so often.
I'm with you. I know for a long
With the
time
frame
you've
rate drops.
touted like HDR over resolution, and as I've gotten a better HDR TV, I definitely see that. Like, sure, make that 1080p, but make it HDR and 60 frames per second, and it'll be a glorious looking game.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a sacrifice in resolution. I mean, the human eye can't perceive above 4K very well. I mean, that's why I'm not really concerned about the 8K that they're supporting. I mean, if you want to do 8K properly, you're going to need an 80-inch TV, or higher. So I don't know where anybody's going to fit an 80-inch TV.
That
You
wall
might
back
have
there.
room on that wall. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you got like an 8K TV on less than 80 inches, I mean, it's not going to really
Keep
do
going.
anything.
Tell
I
me
mean,
how good it's going to look.
other than complete my dream that I'll get to play 6-foot Marcus Phoenix. So
That's the ultimate dream. Cesar, in this room, you can have 8-foot Marcus Phoenix.
yeah, he's taller than fucking me. Yeah, that's my dream.
He's grinding. He's grinding and lancering. Taller than you. Oh, man. That's good stuff. Netflix and Splinter Cell. Who wants to take this one?
Nope, they did our boy wrong.
I saw somebody associated with John Wick is associated with this project, and I was immediately on board. Yo soy John Wick. Okay, this comes from The Verge. Netflix and Ubisoft's first project together is an animated adaptation of the gaming publisher's Splinter Cell series, which in my opinion is the best way to go. Give me animated over live action any day. As far as a franchise or a property like this, it's going to be, well, The Witcher was really good live action. Did you watch The Witcher, Brant? The Netflix series?
I haven't yet.
Very good. The streamer has ordered 2 seasons from the get-go for a total of 16 episodes, according to Variety. John Wick writer Derek Kolstad is set to oversee the project. Details about the show remain under wraps, but the long-running video game franchise based on Tom Clancy's book series follows former Navy SEAL Sam Fisher as he takes on a number of different missions entitled Chaos Theory and Pandora Tomorrow for the NSA. I added that last bit.
Yeah, we figured.
And The Verge also notes that Netflix did a great job with Castlevania, which I 100% agree with. So, hey, take a shot at Splinter Cell. Give us more stories in that universe.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix went on they got that deal with Ubisoft because they also did, they chalked up Beyond Good and Evil also. So, yeah, they're doing a show on that.
What is that? Like, I get excited, but sure, what is that franchise in 2020? Like, 2005 me is super excited. What is that franchise in 2020 now? What do we even have?
These are all, because you got to remember, I mean, this is like stuff that they did in the fucking 1980s. So we had a bunch of TV shows, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Brave Star. All those were just drivers to sell toys. The toys didn't sell, the shows got canceled.
Teddy Ruxpin?
So I'm telling you now, I'm telling you now that this is all because these games are coming out soon. So, oh yeah.
It's not just to keep the property alive for some weird reason?
No. I mean, we saw what happened with the Prince of Persia movie.
I never watched it. I still never watched
Beyond
it.
Good and
It's
Evil.
not good, Brent?
It's a good ass movie.
Oh, Cesar likes it.
It's a good movie. I liked it. Yeah.
Brent said, ooh. It was like Brent took physical damage. Ooh.
He took Halo damage.
The Brutes.
It's a. They said it's a. According to Hollywood Reporter, the new title will be a movie adaptation featuring both live action and animated elements. Rob Letterman, whose previous works include Detective Pikachu, Shark Tale, and Monsters vs. Aliens, will be directing.
And that was in reference to what franchise? Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil, the movie, Netflix. Yeah.
I thought Netflix was trying to cool down on their acquisitions and publishing and all that.
No, they keep taking in more debt. The whole point is that they were in the business of where they were licensing stuff out, and they can't do that anymore since everybody has their own streaming platform. So they're taking a gamble where they taking a lot of debt and produce new shows to bring in subscribers. And right now it's working because out of everybody, they're the only ones producing the original content, and everybody else is relying on their back catalog, which can only get you so far. So because the back catalog is so spread out now between 7 or 8 different apps. So a lot of people are now choosing apps based off of what new content they can get in combination with the
and they're leading with
back
that
catalog. So,
and Apple seems to have dropped the ball with the Apple Plus stuff. So
no,
they that movie with Tom Hanks did very well.
I've been wanting to watch it. I got an
them.
Apple TV, so I have it for free for a year, and I haven't gotten around to watching it.
So they decided what they're going to do is they're going to movie studios and looking at movies that haven't come out or movies that were going to come out in the movie theaters and just overpaying for them and putting it on their service, because that Tom Hanks movie did very well for them, because that was supposed to be in the movie theaters on Father's Day, and because of the COVID-19 they picked it up
to watch it,
and they were like, okay, we can make money off this. So they're more concerned about picking up movies that way. It's movies that were destined for movie theaters is what they're going for.
Not to derail us too much, did you see Mulan's going to come to Disney Plus for $30?
I will just buy it on 4K Blu-ray for $30. I'll just wait. It'll work for some people, but if I'm going to pay $30 already, I might as well buy it on a format I can keep, and it comes with a digital code. So instead of me just watching it once,
so I do get myself, not to exclude you, Cesar, myself and Brant. Look around at a family on the couch. Popcorn's at home. Sodas are way cheaper. Bathroom's cleaner. $30, man. There's 4 of us watching it. So you kind of gauge that as far as the experience goes. I don't know. I mean, this is the first time they're trying this out, right? This is the first, straight up release. All right, high price, I guess you could say, streaming launch. Because we got Onward for free, the Pixar movie. They just added it to the service, and we love that, obviously. But how do you think, Brent, is that something you'd consider for the family? $30 for Mulan?
I've heard iffy things about the live action Mulan. That's something that Mulan is. It's a movie I enjoyed as a kid. It is Katie's thing. Katie loves Mulan.
Your $30. Hey, just say your $30 is already spent, man. You don't have to go into explaining.
So
just tell us you already pre-ordered it and everything.
Well, she's a little iffy on it too, but I mean, it might be one of those things where, I mean, it's a Friday night. We can't really go do anything anyway, so if we were to go see it in the movie theater, it would be $10 ahead anyway. It would be $30. So, and like you said, if I've already got popcorn here, it was cheaper. We're boring. We drink water. And then bathrooms are cleaner, and you can pause it. Yeah,
there's the key feature. I left the main sales point out. You can pause it. So there may be some households that just go crazy and snatch this up. I'm excited to see. I know movies is kind of our thing, multimedia, entertainment. That's our thing here. We're a video game podcast, but it'll be something interesting to look at and see how it performs and how it does.
I mean, they already done this. They've done it with
Trolls. Was a huge success, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they worked out a deal with AMC because of that, where they have a shorter release window for it. But
how much was Trolls when it came out?
It
was $20.
$20. So was the Scooby-Doo movie.
30
seems. Also 20.
I think at 20 it's a no-brainer for my household. I think Brant's too. When I hear 30, it's in that in between.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That's why they're throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, that's why I'm $30. I'm at that point. I'm buying a physical copy. You might have had me at 20 or 15, but $30 I'm already paying for a physical copy. It's not like I got to watch it. There's plenty of other shit for me to watch, but that's neither here or there. I mean,
That's
I'm the guy that has an AMC movie subscription, so I'm watching 3 movies a week anyways
Right.
when it was open. So I was watching 12 movies a month
yeah.
for $20. So
And I think 30 is a hard sell for an individual, but like you're saying, for families, you got a family of 3,
Right.
4, 5 people, $30. Wow, you're getting off
Yeah.
easy to see a new
This is like a
release.
softball. Like, hey, I've been waiting for this moment. Cesar, what's the thing you sent me? I've been waiting all my life for this moment. It's finally here. We could just get this movie, and hey, I got popcorn. Popcorn's way cheaper. Sodas are cheaper. We could pause
No.
it.
Your best bet is to get as many people as you can to watch that movie all together for $30. That's the real win.
It's true.
So
That's what we did with Onward. We had another family over here with another kid, and it was just we had an awesome time. All the kids fell asleep, and we were all invested.
Because
in the
that's how
movie,
you-
So.
that's how you do it, man. Because if one person catches one movie, then the next time somebody else
Yeah.
pays for the other movie. So
So I bought.
That's
I
how
talked
you
about
really
a couple
take
weeks
advantage
ago.
of
We
it.
watched Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm the one that bought the movie for $250 or whatever it was at the time, and that seemed the consensus of that was that I spent too much money. I enjoyed it for $250, but speaking of spending too much money for difficult games, a game I played with Brant, Cuphead is coming to PS4. There was this article comes from The Verge, but there was a little kind of preview announcement trailer type thing, and then it was out. And I think is it $14.99 on PS4? It's $20, $19.99. Has anybody played?
it was leaked on I think the PlayStation Europe store because it had originally planned on that banner and somebody found it, and then they tagged Geoff in there.
And then they didn't.
I think
That's
Wario
right, because it
tagged
was
Geoff.
on his Summer Game Fest, wasn't it? And then they didn't even.
Yeah. They were
when
like,
they-
"This is what you're gonna announce." And then he did the whole GIF picture like this.
Then they took
like,
down the Cuphead logo, and it was just a blank. It was a blank square in the banner.
Yes.
Yeah.
tile. Yeah.
All right, so Cuphead's out for PlayStation 4. I think this was only a matter of time. Great game, should be on everything, sort of deal. So it's been on Switch for about a year, I want to say now. So this was just kind of it was due. And they also have a Netflix special coming, right? Isn't that where their cartoon's going to be?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brant. All this podcast, 48 minutes worth, has been leading up to this one moment. Tell us about finally being able to fish or swim or both or whatever they've added to Animal Crossing.
So, gosh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the 3rd this went
Oh,
live.
it's already up.
Or it, yeah.
Yeah. 30th.
Oh, it was the 30th. There we go. I knew it had a 3 in there.
You got
But-
close.
Yeah. So this is the second update for the summer update that came to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I almost said New Leaf.
Dawn. I was thinking New Dawn.
And in this update, they've added a few new things. They've added there's Sunday nights. They've added like a fireworks show.
Awesome.
Red comes to your town and there's a little raffle and you participate in the raffle and you can get summer themed items from him like pinwheels, different little fireworks, sparklers, bubbles. Also, there's like these special things you get from Isabel. It's like a they call them bobblers, but they're just like a little light up shape that goes on your head. This has like springs, and 2 of them are on your head.
Story here.
Maybe
that'll go well for the video stream.
It totally sort of does not.
You can't tell what that is, Cesar?
This looks like a red square with a triangle pointing to the right.
Oh,
in the
look at
middle
the
of it.
bobbly bits.
I see Wave 2 dash NI.
Oh,
I've seen everything but the wobbly
Looks like a
bits.
Splinter Cell thing too.
So And what they didn't tell you is everybody's island got something different. So mine was like stars. I think Katie had like the little orbs. Um, and you can use your custom designs to customize your
Okay.
fireworks shows. So I threw some fireworks up there of like Crash
Oh,
Bandicoot,
nice.
little things going up there,
Oh, we
and
lost Cecil.
oh, he'll be. It shows
He'll
he's
come back.
still there, but his video's gone.
We'll just see a
Um,
Skype logo. He might have had to scratch something.
oh gosh, but anyway, um, so that happens every Sunday night. They, of course, aside from the other little things that they added, like they do every month. There was a couple new bugs, a couple new fish, but now also if you go to your bed in your house, a bed in your house,
Okay.
and lay in the bed, you have the option to sleep or dream, and when you doze off, a
I'm already there.
her name is Luna appears. She's like a she looks like a aardvark or anteater kind of thing. Um, and with that, you can upload your island to this dream space, or you can visit an island in the dream space. Um, you create a dream code, and you can share that dream code, and people can visit your island without the hassle of you having to be there,
Okay.
open the gates, you know, show off your island or whatever. But they can visit your island. When you go to somebody's island, you can't take anything with you, so you're literally just kind of sightseeing. And you can't change anything besides if you were to go into like the clothing store, the Able Sisters, and put up like a custom design. But out of that, it's literally just kind of a sightseeing thing. It's a neat little thing.
Good summertime activity, right?
Yeah, and uh, if you're going to upload your island, make sure you don't have anything you shouldn't have, because Nintendo has been going through and either deleting people's uploaded Dream Islands or banning people
Better the penis
because
shaped
they
islands.
have uh,
Phallic,
it.
phallic symboled flags.
Yeah, they do not want self promotion. They do not want ads. They do not want adult content or inappropriate content,
Oh wow.
and or hacked or modified items.
Hey, you guys said this Nintendo was dead. Why are we bringing it back now? You can buy you can buy panty games on Nintendo eShop. Why are we all of a sudden going back to 2003 Nintendo?
But I believe, yeah, that's pretty much all they added for the second summer update.
Still a
Um,
worthy contribution though, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah, and if like I said, I didn't say it, but I obviously did jump on and play a little bit, and outside of just kind of looking at some of the stuff, and after I realized I had to have somebody else's dream code to look at islands, I think it would have been nice to be able to just kind of like pop into random islands and just kind of walk around, look around, see what other people have
Right.
done. But since you have to have somebody's specific code to go to an island, I laid in the bed, I did the thing and talked to her, and once I found that out, I'm like, I'm done with this. Save, quit, and that was that.
Took the game out the system, threw it in the case, never played it again.
Threw it at my 80-inch 8K TV.
Here, read this. Display that in 8K.
So they still seem to be missing the boat, as it were, on friend codes and online connectivity, and like I get the sensitivity and making sure
Oh, like the Chinese system, which you can actually do messaging.
on the Chinese Switch you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's integrated. It's integrated on their network.
Is it their
But you can
WeChat or whatever?
Yeah, well, because it's the chat they can do through phones
Right.
also, so you can actually talk to
Right.
everybody. Yeah, yeah.
I kind of want one of those. I know it plays like 6 games, but I kind of want one of those Chinese Switches.
I just want the Rabbids game that we'll never
Rabbids
get.
game that we'll never get. Last bit of news came out today. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I know we've talked about this, 8,000 times over the course of rumors and games that need to come from Wii U to Switch and all that kind of stuff.
To the dismay of like everybody on the fucking Twitter
How is this a
shitting on
thing?
it because they're upset about paying $60.
How is this a thing?
So
10 million people bought the Wii U. There's how many people already have a Switch? It's like 60 or 70, right? It's up there.
Yeah.
Apparently, those 10 million people are the only ones that use Twitter.
It's just them. It's just them. The only people on Twitter had a Wii
that's
U
it.
and are bitching about their library moving to another console for people to have access to.
Don't buy it.
They
Yeah.
It's a new game.
Don't buy it.
There's
they
more
also
stuff.
yeah. They also pulled the game from the Wii U eShop apparently.
Officially, but you can still buy that code from, I saw, like Amazon, Best Buy, I think.
Oh
GameStop.
yeah.
And we got it for free.
Or
We
if you-
discussed this
yeah,
a couple
if
weeks
find
ago.
physical.
We got it for free
Yeah.
for Nintendo. There was some gaff that we ended up with Pikmin 3 for free somehow.
It was some bullshit where when the console was doing bad, they were like, buy this game and you get a free digital copy of this thing. And I think Pikmin 3 is the one I
Me
chose
too.
also.
Yeah.
So
Because I had it too. I think when I plugged in the Wii U a couple months ago, I was asking y'all, like, where did this come from? How do I have a digital copy? I was looking for Wind Waker. I was like, how do I have a digital copy of Pikmin 3? I don't remember buying this. I bought that pre-owned game and it was like $60 still. Remember when Pikmin 3 was like super hard to find for Wii U?
yeah.
And then they came out with a Player's Choice for $30, and the market plummeted. Anyways,
Hey, whatever. It's a good game.
It's a great game.
It's like you said. It's got new DLC. All the integrated DLC, some new stories, side stories.
play with a friend, co-op, play easy mode. This is the definitive Pikmin 3 experience.
If you bought it on the Wii U, good for you. This game is not for you.
Apparently, I bought a hard copy and I bought the digital, or was
Yeah.
given the digital copy.
Yeah, I didn't buy that. I think I was given
Same.
the digital.
Gamatsu notes Nintendo has announced Pikmin 3 Deluxe, an enhanced version of the July 2013 release Wii U title for Switch that includes new missions, co-op play options, and all previously released DLC. It will launch on October 30th for $59.99.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You get
I think I put like 2 hours into the Wii U one, so why
you
not?
get to play an easier version, as they note. There's a casual thing. There's side story missions, which there's an ongoing story. Somebody had talked to, I think it was Eurogamer, had talked to Miyamoto about a tentative Pikmin 4 project and whether or not these side missions were that content. So I don't know if that story's been fleshed out or not.
I don't know. Remember, there were some Nintendo leakers out there who said that a version of Pikmin 4 was
Right.
done. So they're just trying to find an ample opportunity to release it, kind of like the whole Metroid Prime
Right.
trilogy on Switch that is done. Like, what was it? A gentleman that used to work, Imran, who used to work with Game Informer, he's been talking about it for
Imran Khan.
years. He's like, they're done. He's like, I don't know what they're doing with it. Yeah. He's like, whenever they decide to announce it, which we all know they're going to probably announce it whenever we get a tentative date for Metroid Prime 4, because that's when it'll make sense. So
This is fun, man. We don't want to focus on the they are the loudest voices, the internet crowd who's always crying about stuff, but with there being no like Nintendo Direct that they wanted, we got Shin Megami Tensei HD remaster and a new game, and I don't know what else you could want from a Nintendo Direct. But
that was enough for me.
goddamn, I know. I'm like, holy shit. But you know, Nintendo's in the capacity to do this, and they did it with us with what was the last game? Paper Mario. They were just like, hey, here's a trailer, here's a release date. This is more exciting to me than a Direct. You don't even have to build up for it. It's just, okay, here's a trailer, here's a date, you're ready to go. It worked for Paper Mario. I pre-ordered that day. I'll probably do the same thing with Pikmin Trace.
At this point, I think people were just looking because of the way how the whole year turned out. They're just looking for something to uplift them.
These
and
are those
that's always
moments.
Yeah.
I've noticed you've already stormed through Paper Mario. So that announcement
I
was
beat it.
not
It was
only
great.
exciting,
Yeah.
but the game ended up great. So what else do you want? What can they do?
Dude, I'm ready to just chuck 2020 in the thing. I'm like, whatever. At this point, I'm like, just move everything to 2021. I was like, let's move the new consoles to 2021. we saw the announcement. They just moved the television console to 2021. It's like, let's move every console to 2021. Let's get nothing in this bullshit
Go
year.
ahead and move.
So,
You're saying go ahead and move PS5 and Xbox Series X.
2021. Let's go.
Hey, I'm okay with that. Go ahead and do that. But we're still getting great announcements. We're still getting games. We got Donkey Kong Country on Super Nintendo Online 2 weeks ago.
I mean, it's like you said. We got the fucking State of Play tomorrow, and that's gonna be what PS4 and VR games for the rest of the year, which I didn't think they had anymore.
We need to go back to that story.
Because I think it says 45 minutes of like PS4 and VR
45
games.
minutes. Yeah. 45 minutes.
I was like, how many fucking PS4 games they had announced? I mean, I thought they were done. Remember, Sony was like, Ghost of Tsushima, we're out. Peace. Drop the mic. But that is what they did. Here's Horizon on PC. Right. Enjoy. But I mean, I don't know what games they're going to announce other than they said the only PS5 stuff was going to be updates on third-party games that were already previously announced from the last show.
This will be that Spider-Man Avengers. They'll note probably.
It may be like that Square Enix game. It's a Little Big Planet. They said it was just going to be updates, third-party.
Which I'm cool with. Hey, give us updates. I'm on record saying the end of a generation, these games, I love these the most. These hit the hardest.
And then somebody on Twitter was like, yeah, Sony needs to stop fucking around and just greenlight Puppeteer 2. That's what they put on
God,
there.
yes. Please give me Puppeteer 2.
Somebody's like in there, that thread's like, fuck, Little Big Planet. They said, why haven't they stopped being cowards and greenlighted Puppeteer 2?
That's going to be our next Let's Play. We've been kicking it around. It's going to be Puppeteer. That is a great-ass game. You ever played it, Brant? Stop playing Days Gone.
It's good.
Stop putting all those hours into Days Gone. You got to grab the Puppeteer. It is a Japan studio, Alan Becker joint. Was it post PS4? It was right before PS4 joint.
Yeah. It got buried because I think it was like that May or something like that, right before PS4 came out. It was like their last final push in that summer.
We couldn't put it down. The Missus and I destroyed it. Awesome title. Pikmin, side story missions, head-to-head matches, and more. No mission is too big. 2-player co-op. New adventures. Go it alone or team up with a friend to take on brand new prologue and epilogue stories. Starring Pikmin and Pikmin 2 heroes.
Put a Joy-Con in each hand and don't need the friend.
Like maracas. Quality of life improvements. Expand your exploration with an enhanced lock-on targeting system. Enemy balancing changes. Multiple difficulty modes. Optional hints and more. And, of course, the Picopedia. Unlock profile entries for each character and find out their unique perspectives on each creature you discover.
Yes, the opposite of the Wikipedia. I'm down for this.
The Picopedia? Piclopedia. I read that wrong.
I'll be the first guy to start. Can you create articles in there? I'm just going to start putting stuff in there. It's like people just searching for shit. It's like
you're going to self-edit the Picopedia?
Yeah.
You're going to make it your...
Warning, your IP is being recorded.
You're going to make it your own Miiverse. Cecilopedia.
Miiverse is back, bitches.
All right, that's it with news. Did y'all have anything else to add in news?
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll have some state of play stuff next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out of that. This is late in the generation, so you never know.
Did anybody partake in the analog?
I tried. I failed.
Yeah, I think the webpage disappeared or something like that, and I came back in there and it was in there and I tried and it didn't work. I was like, fuck it, I tried. I wasn't even upset about it. There's people on Twitter like pissed. I'm like, hey, wait, it is what it is. I didn't really need it anyways. I got plenty of devices to play those games.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I was interested in is playing those games on a TV easier because I had HDMI without having to go through a GameCube. So, but hopefully they'll make more.
To me, it was the screen and the pixel density and just having everything right there, available in one thing.
I just want to play in the fucking TV. That was the big selling point for me because I was trying to get that in the dock. Also? Everything, even the fucking tempered glass sold out. Like everything was gone.
Damn.
Whatever, man.
Hopefully they'll do more. I mean, well, they have the other ones that sold out on their site again. So hopefully they'll do more.
I know you guys are limited run fans, but I'm gonna throw out my campaign against this stuff again. This was a pre-order. We weren't getting actual quantities. This was a pre-order that sold out. That's bullshit. I know we're in a pandemic. I know supplies can be short. But let's broadcast that. Let's not say, hey, pre-orders are open this day. They went up at what, 11 a.m. for us?
Yeah.
Okay, I tried to submit my
Yeah.
order at 11:06, and it didn't go through. And I had everything set. I had payment method. I had everything ready to go, and it was already down that fast. So like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, they should have came out with a number. I don't know why
Right.
they say pre-order, because pre-order sounds like you can. It's
Yeah,
open. You pre-order as
reserve
many
your
as you
copy.
want.
You'll get one in
Mhm.
March or whatever.
Because I mean, Brent does limited run also right now because of the pandemic. Limited run's been doing everything as open pre-order,
Which is the best
so
way
they
to
haven't
go.
done. They have done very little limited runs outside of the beta ones, because the beta ones they already had to do the amount of cartridges already planned
Yeah.
out. So I think that one and those Chemco RPGs are the only ones they've done with actual numbers on there. But everything else has been open pre-orders for 4 weeks. Like, they give you plenty of time, and people are still bitching about that. They're like, you had 4 weeks to
Right.
pre-order it, but like they decided to do that just because of what's going on right now. So I don't think they're going to change that model, because I think it's done well for them. So
That's fine. But like the analog, come on, man.
it should have been a number. It should have been like, we have this many. Because I'm like you, it's pre-order. I was like, maybe if it's still there, I'll get it. I wasn't stressing about it. I'm not going to sit there
I
and
wasn't stressing, but
try
I
to
ended
find
up
it.
being
Yeah.
ready, and I was within 10 minutes of it going live, and I couldn't get one. Like, how is that a thing? So I don't know. I started reading all these
That's
articles on Mister.
yeah.
Brant was talking a couple weeks ago about the Retro Pi, and that has, friend of the show, non-friend of the show, we like him a lot. Jeff Gersman talks a lot about the Mister, and that just, hey, that seems like that might be the solution. Cesar, you want to play on TV, man?
Yeah.
That might be it, dude. Get you a good controller and a Mister, and load all them things up and go.
That's what I said. I'm not even stressing out about it. It may pop back up again. I didn't have the money anyway,
Right.
so I was like, it was meant not to be. Hopefully, by the time those things pop back up again, I'll have the cash, because that's a
As
lot
I've
of money.
sat back since then, you know, you mentioned not wanting to hook up the GameCube, but you and I, Brant too, we have plenty of ways to play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games, right? Versus the Polymega, which is vaporware still, except for the beta testers, which I wasn't selected. But like, it's not that easy to get Sega Saturn to HDMI or TurboGrafx CD, or that seems to fill a different role than just something that plays more Game Boy games, which we kind of already have access to. So I don't want to belittle. I know Analog makes great stuff. Disclaimer: I didn't get one. I'm a little sour about it, so you could chalk that up if you want to, whatever. But there
Yeah.
are other ways to play these games still versus something that fits a need of. It's not easy to get this console playable now. Or, okay, your Sega Saturn laser was made in 1996. It's going on 30 years at this point, 25 years. So, perspective for everything.
Yeah, mine's is convenience. It's about the size of this phone, and the dock's right there, and it doesn't take up much space, and I don't have to sit there and bury it somewhere and try to find
Stop!
it
You're
when I
making
want
me
to play
mad
something.
again. I had already talked myself out of like I'm good.
Is it? No, you'll be fine, man. It's gonna pop back up again. It will. I mean, they're still fucking selling the Famicom ones on there, the NES ones, the Genesis ones that originally sold out. So it's gonna pop back up. So
You're right.
it ain't coming out till next year anyways. It ain't like they were gonna ship it to us next week. It ain't like
True.
we're missing anything. It comes out May
It
2021.
wasn't a
So
2020 item anyways, and they said they're gonna put more up. So
yeah,
I don't know if I want to jump in the circus again.
yeah. Like I said, I may wait until they'll come out and say, like, publicly, like, this is the last round. If you're gonna get them now, then I might entertain it by then. But I'm not
Same.
stressing it. I still got to get a fucking PlayStation 5. There's too much shit coming out. I'm like, I can't sit there and buy every fucking console coming out this year. It's like
True.
85 of them, and I still have one. Still
Yeah.
have one Poly Mega that's not coming out till 2025. I think it'll be shipped to my house after I've already passed.
At least
So,
I paid that off in like 2009 or whatever it was we pre-ordered it.
Yeah. Here's your paid off one. I was like, just ship it to my.
I
my
bought that
grave.
6 weeks before I bought my PS4 Pro. I don't even remember paying for this.
I'll probably get my PS5 Pro
PS5
before that
Pro.
fucking thing comes
Oh,
in. So
Here we go. Don't wish this upon us. All right, y'all want to get into games played?
yeah.
Who's leading
Let's do
us
it.
off?
I can. It's a short week for me. I've been tagging Twitter a lot. I finished out Paper Mario, Origami King, and this is probably the first Paper Mario I've beaten since the original on 64. I still think the 64 one's a little bit better, but this is a really good one. This one I actually stuck to the very end and played it all the way through, even though I'm not a big fan of that puzzle battle grid system sometimes, because sometimes I'm just like, how? Like, doing like horizontal verticals, and I was like, fuck this
You don't know
shit
what to
sometimes.
select, or it beats you because of that.
It's bullshit where you can, like, if you hit, because you can call the toads, if you, as the toads you rescue up there, you can hit the Y button and throw out money, and the toads will come out there and they'll kind of move the panels for you. They'll move the panels sometimes, like, how the fuck was I supposed to guess that, or like look at that in like 60 seconds to figure that shit out. Like, it wasn't like a simple move to the left. It was like sometimes it's like they move across the thing and then turn it around. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, you expect me to do that for 60 seconds?
The toads are like
and then not,
swordfish. They're just hacking. They're just going away.
yeah, they're like, and then they just throw me random fucking items and shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, there's sometimes I just did that shit and just got over it. But I mean, not to go into too much details, the localization is great. There's a lot of meme stuff in there that we see every day on fucking Twitter. It's on there. The whole thing about patching in the castle, like, patch in the castle, you cowards. Why is there a door here? I mean,
I saw the you cowards comment you put up, that picture.
Yeah. That one and the fucking whole Kamek. The Kamek one was the one that killed me the most, where he just sit there and thrived and talked about how he was a coward, and then like those bits where he just runs the fuck away and he doesn't say anything to you, and that chomp's coming up there and you're like, oh shit. Then you go up there and like, why the hell did you just do that? It's like, dude, I survived this long just by running away. It's like, my bad. I didn't have time to warn you.
The system says keep it moving.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because he's like, you see him haul ass, you're just sitting there staring at him haul ass, and you're like, oh, okay. Then you look over and that fucking chomp's coming up. But there's some good comedic timing in there, man. And I think it's not long. I think it took me, well, it's not long for me. I think it was a little bit under 30 hours. And that's not with me going in and trying to complete everything, which was get all the toads, fill in all the confetti holes, and find all the treasure.
Are there any benefits to filling out those?
Fill the museum. That is mostly like a completionist type thing, a collectathon type thing. It's not necessary to complete the story. So that probably would have added at least another 10 hours of gameplay, probably about a 40-hour game. But I just went ahead and just got through the story. I think it was like I beat in like 28, 29 hours. It was good. I like it. I can't speak from experience for paper like 1,000 Year Door because I have it. I just never played it. So
same.
And that seems to be de facto one that everybody loves. I think the only negative thing I hear about that game is that there's a lot of backtracking, but they said the story bits and the character were the best ones in that game. So outside of that, I put in 20 hours into Fairy Tail on PS4. They finally fucking patched it because I originally was playing it on the original version 1.0, which their HDR was like fucking me playing it on the NES on playing an NES game on HDMI on a regular LCD TV where it's like the colors are so fucking bright they burn your eyes. Whoever did the HDR on that was horrible. They just did the patch and it cleaned it up because it was so washed before, and it's like the shitty thing about it is that you go into settings, you can't fucking turn off HDR. So you have to like turn it off in the console. You can't turn it off in the game. It's not setting. It's based off the console, not the game. So I was like, I just dealt with it, and they finally patched it. I was like, oh my god, thank God.
Save my rent.
It was so. I'm sure somebody outside my bedroom window could fucking see that light coming on there. It's like a fucking hand of God in there,
I had a Fairy Tail. I was like, all right.
Yeah. It's like I had the fucking son from like Mario Brothers 3, and like, he's in there just fucking fooling around.
You're Kramer in the Kenny Rogers Roasters episode where it's the red light's hitting him through the door.
I got a fucking tan.
We see it.
TV. But yeah. But yeah, outside of that, I like it. It plays like if you ever played like the Atelier games, it is a copy carbon of that one, the Atelier games. Like you do requests, and those requests they'll give you items, and you can synthesize items. That's in this game. You can synthesize lacrima or accessories for your main characters. It plays like a Gus game, like an Atelier game. Cool. That's what it plays like. I mean, if you want something on there, it's more of a easier version of it because their demographic for this game is that group, which is always around teenagers. So it's not a very difficult RPG. It's not like you're not going to have battles where You're gonna have to sit there and like, oh, if I rock paper scissors this, and this guy plays this, and I got to play this, and they're weak against this. It doesn't go into that much detail. The biggest aspect of the game is I never use attack. I never use defend. They want you to use the magic aspects because that's the whole point of the show and the manga was the whole magic. So it's like I'm just using magic attacks the whole time. So I don't think I've ever used attack on there once. So outside of that, the story does take place halfway through the series. So it doesn't start at the beginning. It starts after the 7-year time skip, which makes sense to me because they use the 7-year time skip to kind of reset the series in the middle. So what's that investment
before someone wants to start the game?
This is not for anybody unless you're a fan of the series.
How much of the series do you have to have watched before you can start the game?
You have to be a fan of the series. Basically, it covers the later half of the series, so that forces you to watch the whole series. Because if you watch the beginning part, it's kind of like the whole Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. What you do play is an abridged version of the series, and not all of it is accurate. They kind of had to play with it to work with the mechanics of the game. Because there were some solo battles in the anime that they had to make duos in this game, and they kind of switched stuff around. There's some certain aspects that were not in there. And plus, there's certain characters in the game that are not rendered. Like, you'll see a text bubble where they talk, but they don't actually have a character model to them. So there's some odd stuff here and there, but it works. If you're a fan of the show, it works. But I just got through. Yeah. Fan service is always in there. Actually, that game's a lot more cleaner than in the anime was. The anime was a lot more risque, but the manga's even worse. But I don't even notice that stuff anymore. So it's either here or there. But I've watched so much anime now that like I don't even pay attention to the naughty stuff. But, like I show somebody a clip at work, they're like, "Oh, is that a buttocks?" I'm like, I don't even pay attention to that. I'm like, watch the scene and watch the story part. It's like it's anime. There's always some kind of inappropriate thing in there. I just accept it and I don't even pay attention to it. But I mean, you're talking to the guy who one of my favorite animes is Kill la Kill, and that's like the most inappropriate thing ever. But outside of that, I mean, I just finished up with the Grand Magic games. It does start you after the 7-year time skip, where you kind of have to rebuild the guild, which works because it would suck that if you you had to build up the guild and then you have to go up to the 7-year time skip and then redo that shit over again. If you're playing the game like that, it would probably piss you off. But they start off in the middle, I think around episode 100 and something. So I'm in the Grand. I just finished the games and I'm about to go into the Celestial Gate arc. So I think it has the 4 major arcs at the very end, except for the final one. But outside of that, I mean, if you're a fan of the show and you're a fan of RPGs, it'll work. If you're just a fan of RPGs, you'll seem like you're missing context because they'll have requests in there that kind of recall back to earlier story arcs, but it's just usually a character just reading out a couple paragraphs talking about it. You don't get the full aspect of it. So if you're coming in there going in expecting like a full-blown fairy tale RPG, it's not. It's kind of like an in-between where they take some of that content and kind of fit it into something that was doable. I played this on PS4. I didn't play the Switch one. I heard the Switch one. It's the same thing, but I think the Switch one, when I was reading online, I think the complaints on that one, some of the load times are over a minute. It's not that long on the PS4.
Why?
Like, there's sometimes people said they were able to walk away and get something to drink and come back, it was still loading. It's just the limitations of the hardware.
Switch Pro
that's what we're getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Switch 2. I think that's why they're trying to, between me and you, I think that's why Nintendo's holding off on doing anything. They were like, we're going to try to stretch it out because I think they're waiting on that next Tegra to come out. That's going to be the native 4K Tegra that NVIDIA is making right now. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get away from that Switch model, but I think they're waiting for the next CPU to come out where they can do 4K.
Backwards compatible and everything just works. That type deal.
Yeah. Because the new one they got out there does like pseudo checkerboard. 4K is not a very big difference. So I don't think it would work. I don't know where people are getting the Switch Pro from.
I mean, it's a portable console, so you don't really need 4K.
Yeah. Yeah, on a 720p screen, it works. Yeah. Unless you do a standalone console like the PlayStation Vita, top of the Vita TV. So.
Which we bought super cheap and is apparently really rare at this point, and expensive.
Yeah. I got a couple of them too. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, I enjoy it. It's if you're a fan of the show, you'll love it. I mean, if you're a fan of RPGs, I don't know if it'll be for you unless you're an Atelier type of person.
They were known for crafting.
It is.
Is it big in crafting?
that's what the
Gotcha.
synthesizing. Yeah, you do request you synthesize stuff. That's the same thing. It's
I got you.
crafting, synthesizing. That's what the word they use it on there. It's turn based, so it's old school. Just depends on what movie you're on there. But like I said, I wouldn't recommend it unless you are a fan of the show or have some context of the show. I don't think it would be enjoyable because it is like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They do go over is rapid fire. You don't get all the bits, and it's kind of like some of it you may feel lost on, or some of it is not clear. Like a lot of that stuff is interpreted on there. So a lot of the interactions with the characters and each other's callbacks to the anime and manga. So you would need that context. So all in all, I was proud that I watched all 300 episodes. I did my homework.
It paid off. It was
paid
worth
off.
it.
I didn't go in blind.
All 300.
Yeah. I didn't have to buy the game and get pissed off and then go back and watch 300 episodes to finally play the game at the end of the year. So, which would normally what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it for all my games.
Did you play any more Ghost of Tsushima?
I have not.
I started it. If you have not played any more of it, that'll be my segue. I won't go over my Halo bullshit. I had 2 more nights of Halo bullshit.
we don't even actually know.
Just assume my 12 hours of online play over the weekend is going to be Halo Master Chief Collection.
I would be more surprised if you started out this whole thing, but like I did not play Halo this week, and
that would be surprising.
You didn't play Halo this week. Yeah. That's the only time I would be surprised to expect anything for you to say anything Halo related at this point. We just assume you played Halo.
So I actually did start off Ghost of Tsushima. It's one of those. It's open world. I like the world. I like the music. I'm playing Cesar. I don't think we covered this with your start last week, but I'm not playing in the Kurosawa mode. I'm playing with Japanese voices and English subtitles, which, in my opinion, is the way to go. The lip syncing doesn't match up. Yeah,
the way I play it.
That's how I want to hear it. There's been, like, I was going into this blind, but I've read a couple things just as people are wrapping up the game at this point, because I'm starting about 2 weeks into it. They said the story's predictable, it follows samurai things, all this kind of stuff. I don't have that background. I don't have the Kurosawa lore. I don't know what these samurai films do. Maybe that's a bad thing going into this, because I can't appreciate that mode if you turn it on. But it seems like a revenge story for Jin, which I'm always down for. Like, everything seems stacked against you in the very beginning, and as the story plays out, it feels like he's going to get more powerful and take out, right now there's a fortress that I can't take down. There's a bad dude there right now, so I'm assuming I'm going to get more powerful and go up there. Do what?
It's a con.
It is a con.
It's a con.
Mongol has taken over that, yeah. But from what I played of it...
Who has learned the way of the samurai.
He fucking taunts the shit out of you, like, I know you. I know your language. I know your traditions. I followed you. I learned you.
That's how I beat you. Yeah, because I used traditions against you.
The beginning of it is pretty dark. It's very hopeless. And I'm really digging the open world. The combat hasn't bit me yet, and this is my mistake. They teach you the first 3 or 4 rules to combat early on, right? And I forgot parry. I forgot L1, right after the first battle that makes you use it. So I'm fighting all these battles subsequently where I never use parry. I'm using 3/4 of the other skill set, and it doesn't even come close. I got killed so many times. I'm like, what is it with this game? And I'm playing it on, it's not normal. It's medium, maybe is what they call it. Maybe it is normal. And I'm like, I heard people saying this game was easy. Why am I struggling so bad? And it was just I didn't parry. I wasn't parrying. I was using their circle for if somebody has a long bow or a long staff or whatever, you can hit circle to dodge it, and then you can counter based off of that. And
I think triangles for people with shields.
Yep. Triangle will knock down that defense, so then you can lay on them with either a heavy attack or a light attack. But exploring that world and moving from point A to point B, using the wind, you swipe up on I call it the map button. It's that trackpad in the middle. You swipe up on that, and it tells you where to go, but not, you can set a marker if you want, or you can use the marker if you want, but everything in the world will shift almost Wind Waker-esque. That's how you remember this playing the song, and you would see the wind just, it would take you in a direction, but it stays when you do that wind blow thing. It sweeps you along and tells you where to go. The characters are really good. Like the supporting actress that's with me, the supporting character, she's more interesting than Jen so far. She's looking for her brother apparently, and that seems like it's going to propel the story.
The thief.
We're scratching our heads at the same time.
Yeah, she's a thief. She's the one. She's the one that's trying to break your ways of Bushido.
Because Jen is all gung ho about this is the way samurai do it. I'm only going to do it this way. It's cowardice to fight any other sort of way. And about what would you say about the third mission? They make you sneak up behind people and slit their throats. So she's teaching you. See.
That was a powerful moment, because remember when he killed that gentleman, he sat there for a while because he just came to that realization. Everything he did, he just kind of like soaked it in. Because remember, she asked him, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just keep going."
But you're watching him struggle with it as you're watching the other dude
yeah,
he's got blood pouring out of his neck and he's like bleeding.
Because he was hoping that one slash would do it on there. He had to keep stabbing him.
He's getting his ass. It's a great game, man. Cesar, jumping on what you were saying, like, I can't believe I'm playing this on something that came out, technically, a platform that came out in 2013. Like, this is just, it's beautiful. There's been no screen tearing. The HDR is gorgeous. Like, when you're in those fields with the white flowers blowing everywhere and the moon is shining over you.
Yellow, oranges.
Yeah. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, God. I'll set the controller down, like, let me just look. Like, I get photo mode. There's been photo mode in games all the way up until then. And I'll look, I haven't taken any in this. But I've looked at other people's photos they've taken. I'm like, I see this, because it's real quick. You hit right on the D-pad, and it takes you to photo mode, and you can scroll around. You can change all kinds of shit in the photo that you want to do. Rain, flowers, wind. There's all kind of options in there. But man, it's a beautiful ass game. It's a real beautiful world to be in.
And you mentioned that it's very funny. Like, this generation is a complete polar opposite of the last one. Because remember, the last generation, everything was like struggling to run. This one, everything seems to be outside of the loading. Loading has gotten way worse, but everything seems to be running pretty smooth this generation, 7 years in, versus what we had last gen in PS3 and 360, where it just. I just remember trying to play Dishonored on PS3 back then. It was I didn't play Dishonored until PS4. It played better on PS4 when I just waited for that remaster. I was like, thank God. You turned to the left in
Dishonored, and you could just see the screen tearing up and down nonstop. I'm just like, oh God. We need to move on from here. But I played Halo, played Ghost of Tsushima. I have not kept up with my Resistance playthrough. I need to go back with that. I'm thinking about it, so I know it's going to draw me back in.
Yeah, we thank you. Just skip to 3. Nothing happened the first 2 times.
Resistance 1 has some good moments.
3 is the one where they kind of did that soft reboot, got rid of the main character. And like, here, this is the guy you play now.
Sounds interesting. He doesn't have the.
What's the guy's name?
Nathan Hill had baggage on him that they wanted to get rid of.
Because he ended up coming out like with a bald head in the second one. Is that what it was? Where he's like their version of Jack 2. I'm back.
Well, the second one is the one you and I tried co-op, and that campaign. That was more style.
Like.
And if we'd played it, so I'm gonna play it this next time. I'm gonna play it single player because this is a totally different campaign and see what it's like. Have you seen some of the Resistance 2 multiplayer? Have you watched any of those reviews or anything? It was crazy, man. We missed the boat on that. It was like 64 players. You had skill sets like Team Fortress. You had medics and tanks and all kinds of stuff. Like there was Resistance 2 multiplayer was out there. And we just kind of missed the boat.
I think I beat Resistance 2. I got the story. I played some of the multiplayer, but it's been so long ago. I don't remember any of the multiplayer, but I remember beating the second
dead
game.
now, so we missed the boat on that. But watch a review of it, and it's got some wild stuff in it. But that's all I didn't ring fit this week. I don't know if Brant did. If Brant's back on the ring fit. Friend of the show, Charles, sent me a message and said, I guess Ring Fit Adventure is game of the year. I was like, wow, so far for me, it's up there. But Brant, what else have you played, sir?
I didn't get to Ring Fit. I didn't get to my Final Fantasy. I played since last week. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of time. I haven't had more time to play a lot of different stuff. I've stayed with Panzer Paladin. I've gone through a few more levels of that. Still enjoying that. Getting crazy weapons because like halfway through the level,
I wanted to hear Crazy Taxi.
Crazy weapons.
Crazy Taxi.
With no offspring license.
There we go.
But like halfway through the level, this enemy called the Horseman shows up. You fight him, and then like a random weapon will pop up, and I guess it's just random generated weapons that people have made. So I mean, I've had things that range from just a large sword to a popsicle to I got something that somebody made that they just called the Yeet Stick. It's it's just like a little handle, and then it's just like this giant banner that says Yeet on it. So I mean, I'm enjoying it a lot still. The enemies, like the bosses of every level are have great designs, and I'm still going with that. And then the other thing that I got to play this week, my copy of Streets of Rage 4 came in from my Amazon pre-order. So, and it actually even got here early. I think it said it was supposed to be here like the 3rd, and then I got a notification that it shipped, and then it came on the 1st. So popped it in, and it was funny. I was popping it in, I wanted to put it in the Switch. I got it for Switch.
I'm about to say, you didn't play on Game Pass?
Load it up, see how it looked. No.
Reaches for Days Gone.
I'm a sucker for physical. I'm a sucker for physical. So I got it, popped it in, and was sitting there, and my son was sitting there playing. Gosh, I think it was Tetris 99, and I watched the opening animation and everything for it, and I'm at the title screen, and that music is playing, dun, 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 and I'm like, oh yeah. So I start going to the character selection. He puts his Switch Lite down, and he starts looking. I said, do you want to play? yeah, let's play.
Yes.
And then Katie was off to the side, and she goes, what are you doing? What's going on? I was like, Streets of Rage, you in? She's like,
He's got 3.
Sure, why not? So, because you can get I know you can get up to 4 local, and 2
awesome.
As far as wireless goes. But we popped it in, and we got all the way to like stage 6 together before it just finally became pretty difficult with all of us going all at once.
You didn't have Cesar picking you up and throwing you off the edge of the level, Double Dragon style.
Oh my gosh, no! I had to turn off the option to yeah. Because I was like, with especially with my kid playing, like he's not gonna mean to, but he's gonna throw something, or he's just gonna be behind me and he trying to help me fight an enemy, and he's just gonna be hitting me, and I'm like, in character, and I'm gonna have to like stop myself from blurting out things I shouldn't say. But gosh, the art style of the game is great. I'm sure you guys have played it.
I haven't given this one a go yet.
You haven't?
I got it on PS4. I played a little bit, and my copy came in as well.
But the art style is beautiful. The music is great. It's a Streets of Rage game, just like all the other ones. It gives you fan service. There's little things in there that are callbacks to the older games, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. I picked it back up today, and just was playing handheld. The rest of the family didn't seem too interested. They were busy playing other stuff on their Switch.
Good problem to have.
So, and I've got from stage 6 to the very, very end. I got all the way to stage 12 and got to that final boss fight and
shit the bed.
Yeah, that final boss fight sucks. So
you need your other two people.
I'm probably gonna. I'm either gonna have to have them come in and help, or I'm gonna wind up having to wuss out and choose some of the hand holding options where it gives you extra lives and extra specials.
That's okay.
Starting
yeah,
out.
Just fucking play.
It's okay. Beat it. Yeah, you just beat the game.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
The game genie.
Yeah, my goal is to beat the game, and then I can always go back and play it on harder mode.
You have physical copy. Why not?
Yeah.
Get good mode.
Get good mode. Yeah.
That's usually what my coworkers tell me. It's like, yeah, just play in get good mode. You'll get better. I'm like, fuck you, man.
I just want the story.
Yeah, I gotta get to real gamer mode. But yeah, that's it. That wraps up everything for me.
Hour and a half. What's happening? What are we gonna talk about for the next 30 minutes?
Philosophy.
Anime.
Fuck Silk Rakes. I can't talk about anime. I watched a shit ton of
anime. Let's
not
do that. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here in an hour and a half. You can find this podcast on SoundCloud.
Stitcher.
Spotify.
iTunes.
Google Play.
Overcast.
Himalaya.
Oh, you took mine.
There we go.
iHeartRadio.
That finishes it. You're safe, Cesar. We're also up on YouTube now. Streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Whatever night we're able to get together and do this, it seems to be Wednesday nights for some reason now. I hate this. I hate this for everybody. I'm sorry.
I can't do Tuesdays and Thursdays because I go into the building and I get home late. So this is actually my preferred night.
Destroying me. So hey, maybe it's just Wednesdays at this point. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I still want to get together and do some streaming with somebody and knock out this Twitch affiliation. I think we're close to it. We could do some Donkey Kong Country or something.
Heck yeah.
Now that we got the 2 feed up, we'll just do one broadcast local and then do our Skype feed and we're good to go.
And play that DK rap.
That's 64. I don't know if we can do that.
Come on, join the collectathon. Be pissed like me.
Okay,
Fuck
fine.
you,
Then we
Banjo
need
Kazooie.
5 people to get all the 5 different types of bananas. That's what we're gonna have to do. If you're gonna go in, we're gonna make this a thing.
Don't know the context. I never played DK64.
Giant Bomb already did this with Burgle My Banana, so we're not even gonna come close. We're on social media on Instagram and Twitter as NOFODcast. I put out there on Twitter, join us, and we had at least 4 concurrent views as we stream this podcast. So great job, all 4 of you. You know who you are. Thank you.
Yep. Send us our 25-cent check in the mail, damn it.
It's coming, man. We're
Come on, Amazon,
these
you son of a
quarters.
bitch.
That's all that matters. Pay for our Twitch Prime. Is there anything else to add? We got the State of Play to look forward to. Any big releases coming out? Kind of a stretch here.
No, this month's pretty light. I think the next big one is going to be Tony Hawk and Avengers next month. So we're going to kick in that fall schedule, but it might be that point where do I hold off playing Avengers and hope that I'm going to get a PS5?
And it's the previews came out today, and it sounds like it's not that great.
And I'm like, same thing with Cyberpunk. I mean, which I guess doesn't matter. I mean, because now they push it back to November.
It'll be there
so
right there
I'm
with
like,
that console.
I just gotta hope I get the console. The problem is everybody's at home now. That shit's gonna sell out on both sides for Xbox and
nobody's
Sony
at work
pretty quickly. Because everybody's at home. Yeah, everybody's at home. Next year will be a whole different story once everybody's back out in the open again. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Cesar's trying to raise his chances by hoping people are back in the workforce and not getting notifications that pre-orders go live.
I'm fucking getting cursed at work because I've been joking about the Darkest Timeline for the last year and a half, and some motherfucker that's just like, you little
You
bitch.
made it
He's like, you
happen.
talked it into existence. I'm
You
like,
made it happen.
I was like, I was like, this is what I get for talking about the Darkest Timeline. So,
Brought it upon us.
because every time something bad, I'm like, people were just laughing at me. I was like, no, we're Darkest Timeline. Shit had, but somebody fucked something up at work. I'm like, Darkest Timeline makes sense. That was my excuse
We
for
were
everything.
due. We were due. It was time.
Then we just went. He said. Then we went to the darkest of the Darkest Timeline. So like,
Oh, we already like fell off, and then we just fell off another
yeah,
cliff.
all not just Link died. All the heroes died. Yeah,
Off the
there's
grid.
nobody left. This is bad people. That's it.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll have better news all around to report next week, and looking forward to State of Play and whatever else we get in the next 7 days or so.
But before we jump off, I can't think of anything in August that's coming out. Can you? I'm really trying to think hard. I think we get a break this month. I don't think we're sitting here.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing coming out for me is that Death End Request
But
2.
you just play through that first
That's
one.
it. I'm seriously, I'm hoping Brand or somebody will give me something. I can't think of anything.
I can't
Probably
think of
gonna play
anything.
a lot of Master Chief Collection this month. This is
I mean, you said Tony Hawk, right? I mean
That's a day one for me. I'm excited about Tony Hawk.
yeah. Oh, me too.
I might be in as well.
Definitely.
They added songs to the soundtrack.
I
Y'all
even
saw
bought
that?
the-
We didn't add it to news.
Yeah. I even bought the fucking edition with the skateboard that I'll never use.
He went all in.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, give me the $40 season pass in there also. I'm
Worth
like,
it.
just give me everything. I just want to play Tony Hawk, not the shitty ass Tony Hawk HD or Tony Hawk 5 for whatever reason that still has value. That's like $40
How?
used. I'm
I
like,
think
what the
there's
hell?
copies at Walmart right now. The game is trash.
It's like that all those Switch games I send you that like randomly are
Samurai
like high
Showdown.
value. I'm like, I'm like, really, Samurai Showdown is $89 used for the
You
Switch.
can
I'm like,
play it
holy
on
shit.
9 other platforms. Like, how is this a thing?
I was like, I think sealed was like $140
That's what
sealed
you
on
sent
eBay.
me.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of Switch games out there that are just like the Altair Riza. That one I sent you was what, $140 sealed. It was like 120 used.
Crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another week, and we will catch you next week, probably Wednesday, maybe. Sounds like it's a good day.
Say
We'll
that.
see. We'll kick it around, and we'll put out there on Twitter and Instagram under NOFODcast when we're going to record again, so you can join us live and shoot us comments, which our comments this week consisted of Cesar sending emojis of ghosts and Pikachu. So next week will be a marked improvement over this week.
It would be 2 different
Okay,
other emojis.
from Cesar.
I
From
will
Cesar
keep a fresh edition every week. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for joining
Yep.
us this week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Adios.
See ya.